New York is
Madam
recognized.
Speaker, I now yield 4 minutes to the distinguished member of the Judiciary Committee and the sponsor of this bill, Mr. Johnson of Georgia.
The gentleman is recognized.
I thank the chairman for the time today to speak on the FAIR Act, and I ask my fellow colleagues to vote yes on this bill. My colleagues and I on the other side of the aisle will disagree on much, but on one thing we can all agree, and that is the Constitution of the United States of America is a great document. At the beginning of that document is the preamble, and the first 17 words of the preamble read as follows: "We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice," and then it goes on. But you can see at the very top, the ideal of the founders was to establish justice in this country. And so they went about the Constitution by giving power to the legislative branch in Article 1, to the executive branch in Article number 2, and to the judicial branch, the court system, to establish justice in Article 3. And then in the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments to the Constitution were the Bill of Rights for we the people, gave us our individual rights with the exception of Amendment 10, which gives the states all powers not reserved to the federal government. So Bill of Rights, in the 7th Amendment to the Constitution, it guarantees the right to a jury trial, a trial by jury of one's peers, for any civil case where the amount in controversy exceeds $20 or more. That is still the law in this country. That is our Constitution. But the Supreme Court has seen fit to erode our freedoms insofar as a right to a jury trial by allowing corporations, employers to take away that right from people. That's forced arbitration. Gretchen Carlson with Fox News, when she came forward with her claims that she was fired because she resisted the demands of Roger Ailes to have sex with him, and she filed a civil rights action, she was met with the bar of a forced arbitration clause in the employment agreement that she signed. I was so happy, Madam Chair, Madam Speaker, to attend a bill signing ceremony a couple of weeks ago at the White House where my colleague Sherry Bustos' legislation, the Ending Forced Arbitration in Sexual Assault and Sexual Harassment Cases Act, was signed into law. We need to go further. We just heard within the last couple of weeks of former coach Brian Flores of the Miami Dolphins, who filed a lawsuit against the Miami Dolphins and a couple of other clubs, alleging that, as well as the NFL, alleging that he had been discriminated against racially. He had been denied hiring opportunities and retention and compensation. He filed a complaint. He's met by the NFL with an arbitration clause. If it's good enough for sexual assault and sexual harassment cases, constitutional rights, those rights, that same ability needs to inure to those who have been aggrieved by racial discrimination and other types of discrimination. And consumers need to be allowed to assert their 7th Amendment right when it comes to a dispute with a shop owner or shopkeeper. And so, additional 30 seconds.
I'll grant the gentleman an additional minute.
Thank you. And so what we've seen with the U.S. Supreme Court is they have allowed corporations to have rights under our Constitution. Nowhere in it is there a section for corporations. Let's restore freedom to the people of this country as guaranteed by the Bill of Rights under the Constitution, that we all live under. It's a constitutional right that when there is a dispute, a party should be able to take that dispute to court and have a jury trial. And no forced contract should deprive that person of that constitutional right. And that's what the FAIR Act will do. It will render unenforceable, after the act is signed into law, unenforceable any pre-dispute forced arbitration clauses in consumer agreements and in employment agreements, and also in civil rights cases, causes of action, and also antitrust actions. And so with that, Madam Speaker, I yield back.
I reserve.
The gentleman reserves.